This is the Chongbuk Ugon Palace. It was built in 1395 as the main royal palace of the Choson dynasty, which ruled Korea for over 500 years. Over 5 million people visit each year, many in traditional dress, known as the hanbok. The Choson dynasty gave Korea its unique alphabet and cemented its unique cultural identity. That's why invaders have twice attempted to destroy this palace, and why it's been rebuilt each time. It's a testament to Korean resilience and determination. The Choson rulers wouldn't recognise modern Seoul. It's a city of almost 10 million people, or more than 20 if you count the greater area. It's now the capital of a prosperous, high-tech nation of 52 million. Yet for all of the modern technology, Koreans place a very high value on their history. That's why they've been determined to reconstruct many of the beautiful buildings from their past, such as the Tonggun Palace. Originally built in the year 674, but carefully reconstructed in the 1970s, along with the nearby beautiful Uloyongyo Bridge. But something not reconstructed is this village in the southwest. Nagan Upsun village was fortified 600 years ago to defend against attacks by Japanese pirates. It's maintained its original state all of this time. In Korea, it's recognised as a site of living cultural heritage. It's also a candidate for UNESCO World Heritage listing.
So this little village is kind of a throwback to the past, I suppose. It's only about 100 to 200 people live here, but it's maintained the kind of same dwelling structure with the thatched roofs and all of that. Well, of course, there's Wi-Fi, internet everywhere, and it's quite a prosperous little place because it gets the tourism in as well. But it's still a working village with farmers mostly, but tourism's a nice, handy little extra source of income.
Very handy. But in the past, life here must have been very hard. The village has turned its original courthouse and jail into a sort of open-air museum. But the thatched straw roofs make you wonder what it must have been like to live here during the icy Korean winters, before they had gas heating.
이거 꼭 찍으시고 이렇게 한 덩어리 찍으시고 이거 하나 찍으시고
Those harsh winters led to the development of one of Korea's signature dishes, kimchi. Kimchi is usually based on fermented cabbage. It's similar to sauerkraut, but tastier. And it has the advantage that it is rich in vitamin C and probiotics. and it can be stored for months in special pots during the harsh Korean winters.
Every morning we visit to the grandparents or parents and we greet the same because every day. Right?
This drum is called a changu. It's a traditional Korean instrument, but a lot of fun.
Generally speaking, if you want to have a UNESCO World Heritage, the building's got to be pretty much in the original condition. But some of the fortresses here in South Korea, this particular one, it was pretty badly damaged. But they had the records of how it was built in the first place, right down to every little detail, how many people, what sort of techniques were used, etc., etc. So when they reconstructed the damaged fortress, they used exactly the same techniques that had been used when the thing was constructed, because the reconstruction was totally authentic to the way it was originally built. This fortress is now UNESCO World Heritage listed.
In the late 1500s, at about the same time the Spanish Armada set out to invade England, Korea was invaded by the Empire of Japan. It was called the Imjin War, and in the end, the Koreans prevailed. Many of the lessons from that war were incorporated into this fortress. When it was built, it was state-of-the-art.
몇 명씩만 보내주.
Nice to meet you.
Archery has a long and rich history in Korea. That's why Koreans are some of the best archers at the Olympics.
I need to aim on that then.
It's a lot harder than it looks.
When I got to the ball.
This is made from the rice and with honey too. Traditional like way they made it like this over there. Oh, it's really nice. Sometimes from the parking lot to get to the coffee shop, it takes 30 minutes because of all the food. But it's fun, right?
몇 살? 93살까지 살았나요? 97까지는.
조상만 빌었대. 그러면 다른 걸로
듣거나 징방에 갔으나 둔하여 글을 배우지 못하여
여러 사람도 안 올라왔지. 여기까지 올라와야지.
I suppose it's not surprising wherever you go in the world, when you find places that have got, really unusual geology, that they become marked as special places. So this spot here, because of the two mountains, it's got its own legends, and of course, why wouldn't you build a Buddhist monastery? It's perfect and beautiful.
Actually, it's not a monastery, it's a temple. Buddhism came to Korea long ago, and along with Confucianism, it became one of the foundations of Korean ethics. These days, while the majority of Koreans identify as having no religion, there is still a great deal of respect for the old traditions.
This particular year, the Buddha's birthday is on the 15th of May, and that's what all of these coloured lanterns are all about. Makes for a very amazing thing to walk through, and all the little pieces of paper that are attached to them are all offerings, wishes to the Buddha.
ยังไงนะช้า
Buddhism was officially adopted as the state religion by the Silla kingdom in the 4th century. At its peak, that kingdom controlled about a third of the Korean peninsula. They left behind amazing royal burial grounds, with treasures inside that have survived the centuries, because the mounds are so hard to break into. These golden artefacts are royal jewellery from the 4th or 5th century. Another Silla legacy is the Chomseondae Astronomical Observatory, built in the 7th century. South Korea's second largest city is Busan. Its beaches have made it a key tourist destination. There's always something going on. Busan is famous for its seafood, but the prosperity of its population of 3.4 million comes from it being a port and a major trading hub.
Okay, hang on. Okay.
It was the only part of South Korea not occupied by the North during the Korean War.
And it is actually last limit during Korean War. The North Korea is actually not came down to this close to the river.
실례합니다. 국기 지나가겠습니다.
This is the UN cemetery in Busan. The flag-raising ceremony is to honour the United Nations soldiers who lost their lives in the Korean War, which began in 1950. The UN soldiers came from 22 different countries. More than 37,000 were killed, with many more wounded or missing. But the toll on the Koreans was far, far higher. A staggering 2 million civilians lost their lives, as well as hundreds of thousands of Korean soldiers from both sides. And both the North and the South were devastated by the destruction. The war ended in 1953 with an armistice. The country still divided, separated by a demilitarised zone or DMZ. In the South, the DMZ is now a popular attraction for tourists, but the tensions remain. Yet 70 years after the utter devastation of the Korean War, South Korea has rebuilt itself into a major world economy, with the 14th largest GDP in the world, roughly the same size as Australia's or Spain's. A remarkable achievement for this remarkable and surprising country.